All right, YouTube family, I do not know how this video is going to go. So I have to call the seller back and renegotiate on a deal that we got under contract. So I have to get the seller to come from 55 down to 305, somewhere around there for us to actually make at least $25,000 on this deal. Okay. So the repair cost was way more than we expected. The buyer goes out there and he said, like, you got to jack up the house, you got to fix the subfloor, you got to fix the foundation. So it's just a lot more work. And also, it's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, not a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. So this is going to be an uncut, unedited version. I'm just going to let it run. All right. And so I'm trying. Now I need to get the seller to come down. I don't know, man, $100 and something thousand. So this call either go really good or really bad. All right. It's one or the other. And I mean, we have done a lot of renegotiating, but I have never done a renegotiating that is this like this big of a price drop. So once again, I'll keep this uncut, unedited. And if you like it, boom, smash the thumbs up. If you're new to the family, be sure to boom, smash that subscribe button. On this channel, I'm going to show you how to make between $10,000 to $100,000 a month wholesaling real estate completely virtual, which is a laptop, a phone, and internet connection, okay? And so my mission now is to help as many of you guys escape the J-O-B as possible. So no further ado, let's rock and roll. And honestly, if I'm able to pull this renegotiating off, you guys should consider checking out my script, okay? Or the course, whatever it is you want. The script, dude, it's the most badass script, all right? This will make it to the top if I can renegotiate this. But there you go. Go to WTMFam.com. That's where you can get the King Kong seller script, okay? So here we go, man. Like I said, either go good, really good or just really, really bad. I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest with you. But it's uncut, unedited. Whew, wish me luck. I am a little nervous because I don't know how it's going to go.
I'm sorry, but the person...
So I'm going to try to call him one more time. So typically I try to call like 2-3 times in a row. If not, 2 times. If not, then I'll just leave him a message.
Hello?
Hello, good morning, Doug. It's Khang.
Yeah,
How's your Wednesday morning going so far, Doug?
good.
And Doug, am I catching you at a good time? You got a few minutes?
Yeah, I got a couple minutes.
Okay, great. So I just want to kind of go over with you regarding the property. And I guess, Doug, it's probably going to come down to is I'll let you and Yvonne decide which path you guys want to take. But whichever decision that you guys end up making, obviously I will respect it and I will honor it. And obviously, if there's anything I can help, just let me know, okay?
Okay.
So here's kind of where we're at with the property, Doug, is that it definitely needs a lot more work than we would anticipated. We would, because the subfloor is probably completely damaged, so we would have to raise the house up, redo the whole entire subfloor, reframe, restructure it. We don't know if there's any foundation issue. If there is, then probably would have to pour a new foundation on the property. I mean, when we first got, we understand that, the property's we'll probably have to end up stripping it all down to the stud and just kind of rebuilt it back to like everything is pretty much brand new. The thing with the lot is that we found out that we cannot add on or put anything behind the backyard, the part back of the property. So the evaluation on the property is not as high as we would like it to be, and the amount of repair is just it's definitely a lot. and it's going to be a lot of risk that we'll take on. Now, the positive thing is, we still want to move forward and would like to buy it. But the price would have to be significantly lower than where we are. So I don't know if you and Yvonne, have any room in the price, or are you guys pretty firm on that I think it was 455.
Well, that's what we had agreed on. What are you thinking?
Yeah, Doug. So for us, I mean, we're looking at it.
I mean, I get 6-7 calls a day on that property. So
I understand. And Doug, like I said, I mean, we are ready to move forward to close on the property. We can probably close this mid-July, probably in the next 15 days or less. But like I said, the price will have to be a lot significant lower. And like I said, I don't know if it will make sense for you and Yvonne, or you guys rather just cancel and then just find another buyer. But for us on our end, for this to make sense and for this to work, we're ready to close on it, ready to take over. We don't need to go and see the property anymore, but we would have to be, I mean, the number for us is coming out to about 302,576. And that's still, Doug, with us paying all the closing costs and all the fees. And then once the mortgage is paid off, you guys would only walk away with, I think right now, right around 200,000 or so.
yeah, I think that's not going to work for us.
Yeah.
So, I guess
That's quite low.
that's considerably lower.
Yep, I know.
And
I disagree with a couple of things.
Sure,
Splitting the
Yvonne.
property. Other lots in the neighborhood are splitting their properties right now. It
Yeah.
can be done. And
who told you that you couldn't build beyond that?
Well, I mean, our contractor, we checked in with the city as well. I mean, maybe we're talking to the wrong person down at the city. But that's what they told us.
There's several properties on that road that have just split their properties and added a second home recently on that road. And
So like an ADU or something, Doug?
I'm assuming so, yeah.
Okay.
And so I don't understand why they say you can't do that, but they should be allowing you to do that. There's plenty of room.
Okay. I mean, that's definitely something where I guess I'm willing to go down to the city and try to see if I can talk to somebody else, maybe, and see if I would get a different answer on it. So I can try to do that, maybe today or later tomorrow, and then I can keep you guys posted on that.
Okay.
Now,
Well, as of right now, I just don't see that that's
yeah,
going to be anywhere near a feasible deal for us
Yep.
to walk away from it.
I completely
So-
understand, Doug. I completely understand. I know that it's way lower than where you guys need to be. That's why it took me some time, and we just want to make sure we calculate everything, all the numbers and everything like that before I actually give you a call, because I felt it is way lower than where you guys need it to be. So I mean, Doug and Yvonne, if I can ask you guys one last questions before I let you go, and then I'll try to find time to go down to the city today and talk to another person. But what's the least, I guess at this point, like, what's the least you guys consider as, like, after everything's said and done, like, that you need to walk away with to actually move forward?
I'm still saying I need to really walk away with about
300,000. So probably okay. So we're still looking at a purchase price, right? right around 400,000. Just the mortgage is about 100,000, and that if that's paid off, you guys need to walk away with 300,000.
Yeah.
All right.
After capital gains and everything, that's not going to leave me enough to get into
Yep.
something different that I need. So
I understand. So Doug, would you and Yvonne be able to give me can you give us like until July 15th? So here's my game plan, Doug and Yvonne. I'll probably make a couple trip down to the city, try to see if I can talk to a couple different person to see if I can get either a different answer. And if they all say no, then obviously then it's no. But if one person say no and another person say yes, then I'll probably have to talk to more people. Also too is I'm thinking about getting maybe 2 other contractors to go in and give me a price bid and see if they can come in lower than what Leroy and Ryan has given us. So if you can so if you and Yvonne are okay giving me until July 15th, I'll do the best that I can. If I can get someone to come in and do the work for lower than what and it makes sense for us, then we might be able to make this work. And I just need to make a couple trip down to the city. Would that work for you, Doug?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay. I appreciate it, Doug. Thank you so much. And I'll do the best I can, and I'll let you guys know no later than July 15th whether we can make it work at that 400,000 and if we can get this wrap up and close for you both. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Doug. Thank you so much, Doug and Yvonne. You guys have a great rest of your day. Okay. Yep. Thank you so much. Thanks, Yvonne. Bye. Boom. But as you guys can see, I can't get them to come down to 300,000. But why do I give them an odd number? I give them an odd number because it makes them feel like, I'm doing the calculation, like I'm doing the calculations and we're putting the numbers together. If you give them an even number, they're like, oh, he or she just throw me some random numbers. But if you really give them an odd number, when you renegotiate, they're like, okay, well, he or she must have really calculate whatever it is, right? So the next thing so our contract actually expire August 1st, but I don't want to, drag it until August 1st. But now I also want to let the seller know that, hey, like we're in a part right now where it's just like the number's just not going to work. So I don't want to give them hope and drag them along without letting them know that this might not work. Right. So that's something you want to let the seller know. Okay. And so my goal right now is I know in my head that the seller, we have it under contract for 455. And now we're going to try to get it under contract. So now we have to renegotiate to get it. So now it's going to be back at 400,000. So I just got him to drop 55,000. But I also now I need him to come down to like 300. So what I'm going to do now is obviously we just have to push this thing out and see if we can find a buyer for it. I mean, if I can get a buyer to come in at 400,000, I mean like 420 or something like that, then we can make that profit, that spread that we need. But like I said, I'm going to leave this call uncut, unedited version. And I hope you guys enjoy that, but that's how you renegotiate. And as you can see, my tone of voice is different. It's different when I, lock in a property in a contract. It's different when I try to renegotiate. And you also got to let them know. Yep, I understand completely. It's slow. That's why I'm hesitant to call you, right? And the next time I call them back, if I can't find a buyer at that 400,000+, so what I'm going to do is I am going to pitch them novation. I'm going to say, hey, hey, here's something since we can't buy it, what if I do this for you guys? We'll market the property, we'll list it, we'll pay for the realtor commission, we'll pay for all the closing costs, all the fees. Okay, we'll find the buyers that's willing to take this on. You guys don't have to do anything. So my next thing is I'm going to pitch novation to them. And if that works, then hopefully, they want to walk away with 300,000. I'll tell them, hey, I'm going to do my best to get you that 300,000. Okay. And then I'm probably going to try to list this thing for like 450. And then when you do novation, you have to take in consideration the closing costs and the commissions that you would have. It's going to come out of our assignment fee. It's going to come out of that $450. So you want to make sure the spread is there. So if I list it for $450, you know, let's just say the real estate commissions to closing costs, I typically just like to minus 10%. So $405. I mean, probably more than that. We'll probably end up making at least $15K on it, $20,000 if I can do novation, because I don't have to pay the other side of the realtor commissions. So hold on a second. So we go 450. Let's just say minus 5%, roughly. Okay, so 427. So we'll still make about, you know, let's just say 25K. So my whole thing is now what we're going to do is we're going to reduce the price that we're going to blast out to the buyer, because now I know that the seller can come down another 55,000. So I'm going to blast this thing out for like 450, and then we'll probably lower, because we want to get rid of this thing ASAP. And then if not, then I'll call the seller back, renegotiates. If say I might be able to come from 302 to like 315 or so, because I got a buyer that's willing to pay like 330, or you know. So I'm trying to get my feet in there. And if it doesn't work, once again, I'll pitch novation. And if it doesn't work, then we just got to move on. That's pretty much what it is. But as you guys, like I said, I hope that this video will add some value to you and kind of let you know how it's a renegotiating. What does it sound like? What does it look like? Okay. Because a lot of you are afraid to renegotiate and afraid to give the seller your low ball cash offer because you don't know what to say. So if your offer comes in super low, you just need to position themselves, prep them up and say, hey, this is going to be really low. I don't even know if this is going to make sense for you guys. Okay. And it's probably not. But my job is actually to present you the offer. And here's the offer. Okay. There you go. There it is. All right, guys. If you think that is, Khang, that is so good. And I think it went pretty good. Better than I expected. And dude, man, like I know I can get the seller to come down like 50, 60,000, but man, 100-something thousand is just really, really hard. All right. It's a really hard negotiating. That's like almost a $200,000 drop. So once again, if you're looking for a badass script, in the script, there's two parts. Part one, I'll show you how to filter and qualify the seller leads, so you're not wasting time on the phone. I'll show you what to say. Part two to the script, I'll show you how to negotiate them, get them to come off on price, lock the deal under contract, complete over the phone. And then also too is I'll share with you all the rebuttal, how you handle all the objection. I want to think about it. Your price is too high or your price is too low. I got other offer. I got other investors. I'm thinking about listing with an agent. How did you get my phone number? All of that. I'll show you exactly everything, all the rebuttal, how to handle it. So if you want to grab it, go to WTMFam.com and check out my seller script, okay? I appreciate each and every single one of you that are here. Now, for those of you who's looking to, get coaching or mentor by me, want to work with me, my team, maybe you need help closing that first deal or your next deal, and maybe you've done one or two deals, but you'll be like, hey, Khang, I want to be more consistent. How can I start closing one deal a month? And then I'm going to show you how you can increase your deal to where maybe you're only making $5,000 or $10,000 on a deal. How can you make $20,000 on a deal, $25,000 on a deal? Because sometimes it's not about the numbers of deals, but the spread of the deals, how big the deal is. So for me, I rather sometimes less is more, which means I've seen guys and gals that do 10 deals and they're making only $2,500 or $5,000 from a deal. Instead, why don't you do 5 deals that makes you $25,000 a pop? Or for some of you, you're doing 5 deals, okay, but you're only making $2,500 from a deal or $5K a deal. Why don't you just focus on doing 1 deal? Make sense? Because the more deal, the more contract, the more paperwork, the more headaches. Okay? So instead of 5 deal at $5,000 pop, which is $25,000 a month, which is really good, but why don't you focus on just doing 1 deal and making $25,000 off of 1 deal? So now instead of doing 5 deal, you're doing 1 deal, right? So sometimes less is more. So for me, it's all about profitable. Being profitable means you need to get better at negotiating on the phone to get the seller to come off on price. Number 2, right, is that you need to target like a certain type of list where there's a lot of motivation in there. Okay. And then number 3 is renegotiate. Okay. Maybe you get under contract, you're going to make $10,000, and then you got a buyer already in place. Simply call the seller back, renegotiate, and see if you can get the seller to drop an extra $5,000 to $10,000. Now you just turn your $10,000 wholesale deal into a $20,000 wholesale deal just by one phone call. So imagine if you just do that once a month. So let's say you got 3 deal and you call all 3 seller back and renegotiates, and 2 of them say no and 1 of them say yes. You just made yourself an extra $10,000 just by doing that one step. Boom. And this is something that we teach all of our students in the academy and much, much more. And like I said, this is for those of you who wants that hands-on coaching, the mentorships, the guidance. We'll give you all the tools, the resource, the training, the courses, the script, everything that you need to actually get into the game from A to Z. Show you how to build a wholesaling business completely virtual. You don't need a big team. You don't need an office space. All you need is a laptop, a phone, and internet connection. I'll show you how to do it from anywhere in the world. Go to coachwithkhang.com. I appreciate each and every single one of you that are here. Once again, this is uncut, unedited. I'm just going to upload it just the way it is. Take care. Until next time, let's go get this